Hello, my friends. This is Miss Sheridan here. Today we're going to talk about finding the macro beat versus the micro beat in relation to simple and compound meter using movable Takadimi. So I know I just said a lot of big words. Let's start with the first thing. We've got to find the big beat, meaning when you're listening to a piece of music, we've got to find that main pulse that's underlying the beat. So we could be singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. That'd be our big beat. One, 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 one. So that's our big beat. When we're talking about simple meter, we can have that big beat divided by 2. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's divided by 2. We could also sing a song that's in a compound meter. Compound meter just means that this big beat is divided by 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's practice. We're going to take a hand right here, and that's going to serve as our macro beat or our big beat. And then here we're going to use some beat patching to do our micro beat or our divided beat, okay? So here's where we're gonna do simple and here's where we're gonna do compound, all right? So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. So the big beat stayed the same in both those examples, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? Our big beat stayed the same. It was just the division of the beat that changed, right? So when we are using Takadimi syllables, all that is saying is we're going to assign names to these macro beats, these micro beats. So for our big beat, the one that was right here, we're calling that every time ta. So this is ta, ta, ta. Ta can be divided by 2, right? When it's divided by 2, we call it ta-di, ta-di, ta-di. Or we're dividing it by 3. Ta, ta, taki-do, taki-do. So the first one is ta, ki, do. Same thing over here, ta, di. All right, so let's do 3 patterns of simple meter and 3 patterns of compound. Here we go. Ta-di, ta-di, ta-di. Taki-do, taki-do, taki-do. All right, so we would call the ta-di and the taki-do the divided beat. You can also call it the micro beat. All right, if you want to divide that even further, we would call that the subdivided beat. So for simple meter, that becomes Takadimi. All right, let's say we have one big beat. All right, so that was our macro beat, right? And then here is where we put our divided beat, ta, di. Let's say we wanted to divide it into half. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, if you can see that. Takadimi. So there's taka, di, mi up here. All right. Takadimi, takadimi. Notice that in Takadimi, ta is that first initial downbeat. D is that first initial upbeat. Takadimi. Just like if you went back to just 2, ta, di. If you're subdividing it, takadimi. All right. So let's practice our regular big beat, divided beat, and then subdivided beat. Ta, ta-di, takadimi. All right, and notice that Takadimi, Takadimi. Even though there's 4 little subdivided beats, they fit into that one macro beat. Now, this is going to take a whole lot of paper. If we've got our compound beat, right, here's the macro beat, ta. If we've got the subdivided beat, we've got taki-do, taki-do. Now, if we want to divide taki-do even further, it becomes tava, ki-di, do-mu. Yeah, I know, a lot of syllables. So there's the first one, tava, ki-di, do-mu. We have 6, right? We divided those 3 even further. Tava, ki-di, do-mu. Tava, ki-di, do-mu. So let's practice the compound meter. Here we go. Ta, taki, do, tava, ki-di, do-mu. All right, the last concept that I wanted to discuss with you all was the concept of borrowed beat. So if we are talking about borrowed beat, that just means if our song is living in simple meter, where everything is 1, 2, or ta-di, takadimi, all of a sudden you're throwing in a little bit of compound. We're adding in a taki-do, ta-di, ta-di, takadimi, taki-do. We're throwing that in there. All right. Same thing if our song is mostly living in compound meter, we're going taki-do, taki-do, ta-di, taki-do, taki-do, takadimi, ta. So it's when we just have a little borrowing or grouping, or maybe it's even a little section of the song. Maybe there's like 5 or 6 measures of the song that are just written in simple meter, and then the rest of the song is compound. We'd call that section the borrowed beat, right? Okay, so I hope this lesson served you well and gave you a little bit of practice. In our last few moments of this, I know, kind of longer video, I would love to screen share, and I would love to show you a few actual icons of this concept. So give me just 1 second here. Okay, well, that's not what we wanted. Ah, there it is. Sorry about that. Okay, so here it is even put in these nice little icons for you. So we have ta, ta-di, takadimi, taki-do. Ta, taki-do, tava-ki-di-do-mu, ta-di. All right. We also have a concept of an elongated beat. So when we add an extra ah, we still have the same big macro beat. We're now just adding another macro beat onto our first one. So we've got ta, ta, ta-di, takadimi, taki-do would be the borrowed beat if we're in simple meter. Same thing with elongated beat in compound meter. Ta, ta, taki-do, tava-ki-di-do-mu, ta-di would be the borrowed beat. And here it is kind of all together, so you can see that the beat doesn't take up any more or any less time, whether it's in compound or simple meter. They're both the same amount of time. It's just how you're dividing up that time. All right. I hope that this little video helped you out, and good luck with your practicing. Bye-bye, my friends.